It's another Monday night, so it's another ComX Recent Reads. So we're here to talk about comics that we've recently read and liked. Hopefully we also liked. And tell you a bit about them, why we like them, why they're cool. I don't know. We'll just talk about them. Tonight, I'll go in a clockwise way tonight, and I'll start with Ed. Ed, who everyone should know is famous for Radical and 2 shows, including this one, and Let's Make a Comic Book. What will you be reviewing tonight or talking about?
I've got Sluggish #2 by Spencer,
Nice.
and he wrote and drew everything.
That's an easy way to do it. And then I'll go Ethan, who is known for, I've got to get the exact title. I took it off the screen. Okay, he is famous for, we should say, What They Leave Behind, which I'm really looking forward to this because this is a new comic. And also he's the founder of Squish Squash. Did I pronounce that?
Yeah, perfect.
Yep, cool.
Awesome.
So what will you be looking at tonight?
I have this one here. Oh, let me get on the camera. Fatal. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips.
Nice.
I believe I'm being very loud, but who cares? So that brings us to Shannon, who is famous for Robotoons, and was it Robotoon? Sorry, there's no
Robotoon, singular
Robotoon, and making awesome videos like the one that I use on Amateur Hour on a Saturday. He made that friggin' awesome. My voice, I ruined it by putting my voice over it, but he made the video. Friggin' awesome. So what are you looking at today, Shannon?
I am looking at Cyber Frog Blood Honey by Ethan Van Scriver, which I don't have a physical copy of. I'm sorry, I can't hold it up.
Oh, if I had known, I would have got some pictures to put up and stuff. Okay, sorry. Which brings us to the second last person, because I'm also in there and I forgot about myself.
Nice.
We've got Chris Pitcairn, who's known for many, many things. He's drawn quite a few different books, but I think what you're best known for is the stuff you've done for NS Kane Comics. So That's what I'll put him down as the artist for that. And tonight you'll be telling us about
a manga called My Brother's Husband by Gengoro Tagame. Yeah.
Cool.
Also, I only have a digital copy, so you'll have to imagine.
I really should have chased this stuff up better. And then there's me, Siz, the ComX guy. That's what I'm famous for, being the ComX guy. And tonight I will be looking at Destroyer by Killer Comics. Let's see if I can get it there. Killer Comics. I could go through the list of people here, but I'll do that when I actually talk about it rather than right now. Killer Comics, that's, the team that did it. And then I've got to remember I'm not just the guy who introduces it, I'm the host. So I'm trying to...
Get that without moving his lips, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got a comment.
Where we just go and start reviewing stuff. Comments, yes. Beautiful.
It's a Be Literate Gentle Humans from Nick May.
Thanks, Nick.
Mastery.
I was just expecting Terry to make fun of me for some reason. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the order of things here and reading all wrong. I've got to make better notes than this. Okay, this is the part where we actually talk about the books that we've read, and I'll go first so everyone else can see what not to do. Destroyers. Now I'll actually list off. There's Duncan Cunningham. He did the story. The writer is Aaron Cassidy. The cover artist is Sani Arguliosis. I don't know. I'm going to butcher these names, so it's just given. The art and ink is done by Dino Agor. Colors are by Armando Jasmine Jr. Letters are by SK. Well, there you go. There's someone else I know in here. And the Destroyers logo is designed by Bram Meehan. I didn't know that was a thing to say who designed your logo. And Killer Comics is the team. Okay, so basically this starts off as in a battle scene. You've got one army on one side, another army on the other side. One army is Celts, which is sort of, you can see that from the way they're with the red on their eyes and all that sort of stuff. And you quickly find out that the opposite side is not what they thought. They are barely human. So the Celts are quickly outnumbered by these beasts and demons and half-formed humans and all sorts of things that are coming at them. And they are called the Sect. And their mission is to turn everyone else into the Sect. Hence why there's so many of them, I guess. So the Celts are retreating because they've realized, oh my God, this is a little bit too much for us. And they've gotten on some horses, ran away, trying to get away from this ridiculously vicious army when they see above them an angel and a demon fighting. The demon seems to have killed the angel. It comes falling to the ground. And then demon comes down. And then the rest of the comic is just them fighting this demon woman. And then some stuff happens with the angel. And I won't go into that because that'll kind of ruin the story a bit. But yeah, so it's just gore and fighting and battles, and it's a lot of fun, and it's what makes Killer Comics so cool. Because this is, well, I was maybe in the wrong hand. This is what makes Killer Comics so cool. They do these gory comics. Now, this one isn't as what's the word? There's not as much nudity in it. That's probably the best way to put it, as some of their other books. But there's still the gore, there's the battle, and it's cool. And these demons look cool, and the Celts look cool. Yeah, it's lovely. So it's cool. Yeah, like Kerry said, it's cool.
Cool.
Nice.
Sorry for the break there. I got a wisdom teeth out last week, and it gets dry really easily.
Ow. That sucks.
Yeah. So who should we pick on next? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. No, I'm making Ed last. That's what I like to do. I like to make Ed last so that we get the best flavor at the end. I'm going to go with Ethan.
All right, I'll go first. I'll be the test bunny for you all. Cool. So, Fatale. Now, this copy, as you see, let me get it in camera. Bit worn out. Has had some love.
Excellent.
So
well read.
It's from a family friend. So I didn't pick it myself. So I thought,
oops,
have a go. The writer is Ed Brubaker. You've lost me there.
Oh, what happened?
Press the wrong button.
Going all over the place.
Too many buttons.
The writer is Ed Brubaker and the illustrator Sean Phillips. Lovely art. It follows this character on the front, Josephine, which is actually called Jo in the story. It is quite gory and lots of nudity, kind of like Scissors. So I have picked out some specific pages that I'll share. But it follows the story of Jo. I'll keep this on here so you can see. Story of Jo. She has supernatural powers that turn men into her slaves just by looking at them. But she can't turn it off. So it's ruined a lot of lives. But it follows her story with 3 different men with 3 different jobs, and it's all intertwined. Opposing that 3 character story is actually they get caught up in a Cult of Cthulhu mystery horror scenario, and that's where the gore and nasty stuff comes in. So it's quite out there when I read it, and I didn't expect it, but it was quite enjoyable. This is 2 volumes in one, but I've only read the first volume. I'll get the exact name of that first volume. Death Chases Me is the book one. There we go.
Oh, cool.
So it's a really nice copy as well. The art's fantastic. It definitely has a very film noir aesthetic with some of the pages.
Nice.
These two characters over here, this hand, very menacing throughout the whole story, and they don't have names, so even more. There's a few compositional pages I really enjoyed, like this one here, with the shot actually coming through the window, and you see the character.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
But it's a quite intense story, and it's also one of those stories where you really have to be paying attention because you'll kind of miss everything as you read through, and it's very easy just to read through the art and not the words in this one. And then another cool shot here at the bottom. Let me get it right. This camera thing is not easy. There we go. There's one of those characters with the glasses sipping on some blood. So overall, yeah, very interesting story. I'm excited to continue with volume 2, so the rest of the book. I'm imagining it will get even weirder and darker. So, yeah, it's a good read though. Good read, recommended read.
Awesome.
Is that the first like Brubaker Phillips thing you've read?
Oh
Yeah, first introduction to them. So
Nice.
I imagine I think I did Google it, and they are quite the team up. So they have a few stories together. So I'll definitely have to keep checking them out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you summed it up well then, but just was it the art? Because you said you like the art and you like the writing. What sucked you in most?
The art sucked me in, and the story kept me there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the first part of it is quite, well, I found it a little bit disjointing because it talks about 3 different characters plus Joe, the main character, and it all feels a little bit separate, but she's involved with all of it. And then towards the end of the volume, it all starts to connect, and then the ending happens, and that's where the cult is involved, and it's a bit crazy. So I don't want to say too much about the ending, but yeah. It kind of comes to a point where that all figures itself out, which leaves room for the second volume, which I'm interested in. But yeah, the art sucked me in, and the story kept me there.
Cool.
Nice.
No other questions? No. Cool. And not to do just disservice to trust me to get the one she's naked.
I think that says more about you than you wanted to there, mate.
Yeah, it does a bit. I mean, she looks like she's naked there, but she's not. But that's the giant demon thingy that they're fighting for most of the story. It's much bigger than a human, and in that one, he's actually ripping a human in half.
Cool.
So she's
As you
really
do.
big. As you do. He called her ugly, and she didn't like it.
No.
But literally, what happened in that scene? I'll show you who's ugly. Which is one way to solve a problem. And I remember the order you guys were in, so I'm not going to be fooled. If we go clockwise, it was actually Shannon who was next.
There we go. Okay, I thought you were going to make me go first for picking on poor Ed, but okay. I have picked tonight something I've been looking forward to reading for a while now. It's called Cyber Frog Blood Honey. Now, Cyber Frog was a series that was originally, it was an independent comic. It was done by Ethan Van Sciver. If you've probably heard of him, if you're a DC fan, Ethan was the artist on the return of Hal Jordan with Jeff Johns. He was the main artist on Green Lantern for a while, so he also did the Sinestro Corps War. He did a lot of the covers for the Blackest Night crossover. He also did the return of Barry Allen when they brought Barry Allen back as the Flash, plus a bunch of other things. As an artist, he's pretty good. As a human being, he's not that great. He was involved with ComXgate, which is the whole thing where a lot of creators were sort of picking on female creators and treating them very badly. He's done a whole bunch of other kind of nasty bullshit. As a human being, he's kind of a dick, which is a shame because back in the 90s, I really, really liked Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog was actually one of my favorite characters. He did a couple of miniseries, he did a couple of crossovers, and that was it for a while. But that work is what got him into DC and led to all these other projects. So with Blood Honey, the story has fast forwarded from the 90s till now. And it's one of those great stories where they've sort of changed the entire status quo and started again. So Cyberfrog went in, was damaged back in the 90s. He went into some sort of coma to repair himself. He only just wakes up in 2024. But in that period of time, the entire Earth has been invaded and subjugated by a species of giant alien wasps. And Cyberfrog comes to, in this world, with all these alien creatures, humans in hiding. He goes and tracks down his best friend from the 90s, which was a girl named Heather. Yeah. And the story started. So not only does he have to deal with this new status quo where these aliens come in, he's been depowered, and he has to get used to this new world, the way everything's working and how humans relate to each other and that sort of stuff now. Back in the 90s, when he was originally doing Cyberfrog, Ethan's style had it was still very detailed, but it had a little bit more of a cartoony sort of edge. In his time working for DC and doing all these big name things, he's developed a much more realistic style. And I personally kind of preferred the cartoony version of Cyberfrog, but this new version works very well as well. The art is glorious. The art is gorgeous. The story's pretty good. It's obviously leading to more. I think he's doing about 4 series, and he's crowdfunding them all to get to the end of this new storyline. I'm doing a very good job of separating the art from the artist. I'm enjoying the art, even though I want nothing to do with the artist.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's always tricky.
Yeah, I still like Michael Jackson's music, and I still think Kevin Spacey's a good actor, but I still wouldn't shed a tear if either one of them was run over by a tractor.
Nice way to put it.
Yeah, that's always tough, but hey ho.
Well, you've said okay.
Right.
Yep. Ed, you got anything for me? I got nothing.
No, I'm all good.
Shannon's too thorough. All the questions I'm thinking of is no, he answered that. No, he answered that. No, he answered that. So you read this digitally? Is that why you haven't got a copy? Yeah, I thought,
Yeah.
You said you preferred the cartoonish style. Why is that? Does it just fit the narrative better?
It fit the character better. How do I put this? It's a robotic frog. So a realistic depiction of a human-sized robotic frog, as good a job he's doing, every now and then you just have a moment of, that's just silly. So the cartoony version of it sort of helps you accept the silliness of the premise.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like my character. My character is like a 6-foot talking robotic rabbit superhero. I can't see the Zack Snyder version of that, like the dark and gritty, super realistic version. and I don't want to either. So yeah, and also the way he drew humans with it more cartoony, there was more life in it. There was like a little bit more expression in their faces.
You could kind of push it a bit further.
Yeah, exactly. He sort of sacrificed that a level of the life and the humanity in the face to like get it more into the realistic. It's not saying that like his characters are flat or anything like that, but yeah, it just had a little bit more emotion with the cartoony because he could push things rather than trying to keep it very realistic.
Yeah, it's one of the perils I found of like artists that work for the big names. There tends to be a very certain like realistic style that they go for, which doesn't always work, and I find it's usually better is probably the wrong word, but useful to kind of make the style fit the text. Rather than trying to do it the other way around.
Yeah. I think like you do notice a lot of artists, they kind of, once they get out of doing the mainstream stuff, not to diss mainstream, I'm a big mainstream freak. I love mainstream stuff. But like you think about artists like Mike Mignola or even Frank Miller, that once they got out and they started doing stuff on their own, they felt more free to experiment and push, and they found an art style that worked better for them. And ironically, then the big names started saying, "Hey, can you come back and draw our stuff the way you draw now?" And it's just like, I tried to back then, but you wouldn't let me. Oh God, I'm having flashbacks of art school.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, I must say, I really appreciate the ComX Recent Reads on that poster. That's really cool of you. And it just blends in. I thought it was on the poster.
I thought it was as well.
The colors match perfectly. That's great.
It does, doesn't it? Sorry, Ethan, you were trying to say something before. Is that still?
Oh no, that's all good. I was just saying sometimes it does feel like the artist loses a bit of their handwork and expression through those big names. And it is interesting that they then come back and do their own stories with their styles, and they're massively successful. Says something about keeping that artist touch on there, I think.
It's called a house style with the DC and Marvel. So they want their stuff to look kind of a generic, like even. So you can pick up one book and you can pick up the next and not get confused. But
to such a degree, Ed, that I found out that when Jack Kirby went over to work for DC after he was pissed off at Stan Lee one too many times, someone started redrawing the way he drew Superman's face. He was doing, I think it was Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen or something like that. Which of course Superman was in, but he'd submit his artwork to be inked, and the editors actually had a different artist come in and redraw Superman's face to fit the house style of what Superman looks like, instead of having him look like the way Jack Kirby drew it.
Have you seen the pencils and how he drew it?
I have, yeah. He was much sort of stockier, like a much squarer face, kind of flatter top, and like big eyebrows and stuff.
It's because Kirby draws
a little bit more like a boy.
Kirby doesn't draw like the beautiful people. All his characters are a little bit ugly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the Marvel guys, when they in that time period going over to DC, they struggled to fit the house style of the DC characters, especially Superman. The Marvel stuff was a bit more gritty.
Which is ironic, considering the reputation now is kind of the other way around. But yeah, I mean, it's like I've seen comics come out of the big names that have a more interesting style, like the Scarlet Witch series that they did. a little while ago had a really like experimental painterly style. The Runaways comics tend to be a bit more cartoonish, and the artists are, I think, given a bit more free reign to use more exaggerated styles. Like I know a couple of issues were done basically in a manga style, but yeah, like with the big ones, with like X-Men or Avengers, they do tend to be very much like, this is how you do it and you do not deviate, and that obviously rubs off on the artists, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah.
Well, I'm sticking to the story that Jack Kirby drew all my baby pictures. That's why I was an ugly baby.
Oh,
Sticking with that story.
Yeah, I think the guy who drew the Addams Family drew all of mine, but
Okay, so that brings us down to second last, and we've already said that Ed's going to be last. So, hang on. Oh, yeah, Chris. Sorry, I'm just like, hang on. Did Chris talk about his book?
name.
I'm losing track of everything. Yeah, sorry, Chris. Tell us about your book.
Yeah, so My Brother's Husband by Gengaro Tagame. I have my list of names here. Was a manga that came out between 2014 to 2017. It's like a slice of life manga, so there's no, stakes are very low. The story basically follows a 3-week visit in Japan, a bunch of sightseeing, not like a huge amount of like, I guess, tangible drama. A lot of the drama comes in with the characters' interactions with each other and basically examining their own thoughts, their own perceptions, and all that kind of stuff. So the story focuses on a single dad, Yoichi, who's he just finds out that his brother passed away about a month ago, and he receives a visit from his brother's husband, Mike, who is Canadian. His brother, having left Japan, moved to Canada, gotten married, basically because of the stigma of being gay in Japan. And the series basically kind of examines Yoichi's relationship with his brother, as well as his relationship with Mike, the brother's husband. And it looks at it both in terms of, I guess, Japanese perception of queer people, as well as the perception of foreigners. The writer said a lot of it is based on his own experience being, growing up gay in Japan, and kind of his reception in Japan, as well as his reception overseas, and how that differed. So like at the start of the series, Yoichi is very kind of standoffish. He's very like, I'm not sure about this foreigner being here, and the fact that this guy is also gay also plays in his head a lot, because there's a lot of I guess certain customs and rituals that in Japan involve a lot of like cohabiting. Like it's very normal to invite people, like particularly family members, into your house, have them stay over for long periods of time, and he kind of has to go, okay, this person married my brother, he is technically family, I should invite this person to stay at my house, but I feel really uncomfortable with that because of who he is and what he is. And the story kind of examines how his perception changes, especially through his daughter. So his daughter, Kana, is quite young, and is kind of shown of not having any preconceived notions about being LGBT, or about how, there might be stigma attached to that. So she's just kind of getting along with her new foreign uncle and laughing at his, funny pronunciation, and sort of having fun showing him around town, and sort of being really excited about having this foreign visitor, and just completely accepting like, oh, dad had a brother, his brother married this guy, and now I have this cool uncle. Hooray! But yeah, it's again, it's probably not for everyone. It's quite slow. It's not like a fast-paced action comic. It's very sort of a slow, sleepy kind of story. But especially if you're LGBT, it does pull at a lot of heartstrings. One of the big pieces of drama is that when the brother came out to Yoichi, although Yoichi kind of never acknowledged it, it basically destroyed their relationship. He stopped basically being friends with his brother, who is his twin, I forgot to mention. They'd previously been incredibly close, and this rift started growing, and the comic kind of opens by him going, yeah, I didn't see my brother for 10 years, and then a month ago I got told that he passed away. And basically over the course of that, him kind of going, that was a relationship that I lost that I really shouldn't have, and I lost it for stupid reasons. And like it's like that happens so often still, and especially in Japan, where there is a lot of I guess it's one of those things where it's not really spoken about, because there's a certain degree of expecting people to kind of conform and to not make drama and to not make waves. But it's like, oh, if you have someone who's queer in your family, you don't talk about it. Like there's not homophobia in the sense of like getting beaten up or something like that, but there is just like, you don't talk about it, you don't discuss these kind of things, you just keep quiet. And it's interesting, this series was written 10 years ago now. I was watching an interview, like one of those YouTube things where people kind of go around on the streets talking to various people going, what do you think of this subject or that subject? And they're asking people, what do you think, how do you think LGBT people are received in Japan? And it's like, you immediately could tell who was straight and who wasn't, because the straight people were like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's totally fine. There's no problems here. I don't know any queer people, but if I did, it would be absolutely fine. And then the queer people who are interviewed are like, yeah, it sucks. Like, it still sucks. And yeah, I think like this comic was a very interesting exploration of that idea, but also like in a way a lot of wish fulfillment. Like the writer was very much like, this is the kind of relationship I wish I could have, or that I have had with people, and that feels really positive. So yeah, in terms of the art style, it's not quite your usual manga. So in manga, there's I guess a category called BL, which is like boys love comics, which is any kind of LGBT comic, particularly around male-male relationships. The one most people know is yaoi. People will probably have heard of. This artist primarily works in a style which is called bara, which is more yaoi is mostly written by women for women. The characters, although they're usually male, tend to be very feminine. There tends to be a very strict like binary. You can usually tell who's the guy and who's the girl in the relationship. Whereas bara comics tend to be written by queer people for queer people. The characters tend to be depicted as usually a bit more normal looking, a bit more like the comics that are written by gay men tend to have very like masculine, sort of muscular looking male characters. But like the artist in particular, Gengoro Tagame, is mostly known for doing quite raunchy comics, and like fairly explicit stuff. But this is not explicit for anyone who's worrying. Like it's very PG, it's very family friendly. which is, again, on the artist's part, like very deliberate. He wanted to write a story that kind of anyone could pick up and read. Like it's very, it's very kid friendly. But yeah, just like, it does touch on a lot of things that are not, I guess, like, how should I put this? They're not like big dramatic events. It's just little things that are either very heartwarming or kind of pull at the heartstrings. Like there's an amazing scene about halfway through where Yoichi and Mike are really starting to develop a positive friendship, and they're talking a lot about, Yoichi's brother who passed away, and they meet up with Yoichi's ex-wife, and they all go on this holiday into the mountains of Japan. And there's a scene where they're all just grouped together and they get someone to take their photo. And it's just this big single splash page of all of this weird, unconventional family all together, but all incredibly happy for the first time in a long time. And it's kind of, they do talk about how, okay, it's a bit weird maybe from the outside, but it feels right. And it's just this really heartwarming moment. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
That was really interesting. It went from a very dark opening to, like you said, of the comic, to something that clearly the artist, is the artist the writer as well, did you say?
Yeah.
So, that they've got this freedom of expression in their work, and that's clearly shown throughout what you said about it. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I just managed to splash tea all over myself. Well done.
Excellent.
Well done.
Were you a fan of the more ruder stuff? Yeah.
Honestly, not really. A lot of his stuff is quite. It's quite heavy. It's quite. It's very full on, and not really my taste. But this particular comic was, again, much more my lane. It's not, not. And I mean, I'm saying this as someone who illustrates like Fox and Hound and Hell Courtesan, where there is a lot of raunch, but it's often not necessarily something I read that much. I much prefer, this kind of stuff. Like my recommendation when we get to it is kind of, again, in the same vein of, slice of life, a bit more chill, and a bit more of an examination of, interpersonal relationships, how we behave towards each other, how we treat people who are different, and, but also kind of like how when you actually look at it a little longer, most of us are different. Like even people who kind of fit the norm, as it were, would be able to find something about themselves that is maybe a bit unusual or a bit strange, that doesn't fit as well with everyone else. Yeah. And it's like
Very strange.
Finding the bonds in our uniqueness, I guess.
I like that.
That's nice.
Yeah. Who's next?
Who's next? That'd be Ed.
Should we do some comments real
Do you
quick?
want to go through some comments first?
Yeah. So we got Stevie J says, I want that trade paperback. That was for the Fatale one.
Oh, yep. So do I, actually. Fight you for it.
Shawnee's got, there's a series I'm prepping at the moment that I wanted more realistic, and I'm finding the designs much more lifeless. It's a struggle in context of the cartoony versus natural style.
Yeah.
They got Claudia Sark, guys, hi Siz.
I'm not a guy. Oh,
We
I'm a
got
comics
Red.
guy. I'm a different kind of guy. Hi, Red.
And hello, Red. We got Ryan. Says there's a lot of fantastic LGBTQI plus comics out there right now. I truly believe that increased diversity in storytelling has made the whole industry stronger.
Mm,
Agreed.
definitely.
And quickly from Kaizen, more tea.
Thanks. No, I'm good.
Sorry. Okay, so next up we have what is Ed going to talk about, and I actually know this one, so woo! Come and tell us, Ed.
So I've got Sluggish #2 by Spedsy. I read #1, but I felt like #2 was an overall better comic. As you could see, in the first issue, the Spedzies used the grey as I'll make me full screen, using the grey blocks to do the panel borders without having a line of black panel border. And then in #2, he's already started to cut away into that. You could see the negative space he's using. And there's so it's about a comic book. It's about a slug called Herb, and it's basically his inner monologue as he stumbles through life, and basically he's just awkward and messes up every social interaction. You could see at that bottom panel, see how nice it is with just the little slug guy going through the door into the other room. It really sets the. It brings so much air into the panel and accentuates the the awkwardness and the loneliness of the character. And there's the actual plot I'm not going to go into because it by issue 2 it would give it all away. But there's stuff like this with the stat panels. It's the same panel, like with different stuff happening. In the first issue, there's a lot of that, and then in this one, I feel like he's using it more sparingly and a lot more tastefully than in the first issue, and it makes really helps with the storytelling and the flow and the just mixing stuff up, the size of the guys on the panels and stuff. And then that's a really nice sequence of a wall getting built. It's using the stat panels, but still progressing through the narrative, making it flow through a lot better. And there's a cliffhanger thing at the end of each issue, and the second one hits a lot better. But that's also because the first issues set everything up so well. The first issue is it's like we're introduced to Herb, so we're getting to know the character, and then by the second issue he can really push the story forward, so it works better. And I think there's another one coming soon. So that's Sluggish by Spedsy. Nice. And the dialogue's really good. The humor, and it's pretty relatable if you're an awkward person socially. So that's that one.
Yeah, but nobody who makes comics is ever awkward.
No.
They're
all very well adjusted.
Extroverts that are loved by one and all.
Have to force themselves to sit down and draw. They want to be out there partying.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool to see the evolution of the art.
It's great. It's one of my favorite things with independent comics and I was going to say younger artists, but that's not necessarily what I mean. But people who are starting and developing their style, like we were talking about before, developing your style. And there's in the back matter, Spedsy talks about how he was trying to do a stripped back version of his style and not use he was talking about the like effects and stuff, so it's a very like minimalist kind of style, just the one shadow kind of deal, and it works really well for the story and the characters and the whole thing, and the gray tones and everything with the color. It's a very well done comic.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Now I've got to take it off my to read pile and actually read it.
Mm.
I've only
Thank you.
skimmed it.
Okay.
Just skimmed it and went, oh, this looks cool. Now I've got to read it.
You could do it next week.
I've got to find where the hell it is in the pile. That's the hardest part. Reading it will be easy.
Somewhere around 2016.
Yeah. that far down the pile.
So I get the feeling that Scissors' reading pile, it's kind of like cutting down one of those old trees and counting the rings.
It is a bit. Well, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 short boxes is my to read pile.
Jesus Christ.
I've only read 4 so far.
Wow.
Oh,
So yeah,
Lord.
it's a bit of a big pile. I've been buying it faster than I can read it. Well, I think, do you want to go through some more comments first before I do the next bit?
Yeah, we've got. I agree with Ryan. Hi Skittles, this topic is super.
Oh, nice.
A comic I can really relate to. And that's it.
That's it. Well, you wonderful people who are commenting. If you want to do more than commenting, you can come on to the show. And if you want to do that, you go to this link here, comx.show/interest, and that will get you to a form where you can fill out, tell us which show you're interested in being on. You can tick more than one. Don't just tick one. Tick more than one. Tell us all the shows you want to be on. And you don't, for this particular one, you don't need to be a creator. You don't need to be a indie creator. You don't have to be a mainstream creator. You don't have to be a creator. You have to be a comic fan. That's all we ask you to be. So if you're a comic fan with a microphone and a webcam, even on your phone, most people's phones can connect to this software. So come on, tell us about the book that you love, or and the one you just read, and yeah. If Siz can do it, anyone can do it. Jeez. You just might want to do it a bit better than Siz. It's not so crash hot. Now I'm going back there. This is the guest plug section, which I should bring up the I figured out the camera bit, the countdown bit. I mean, not camera bit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's a bit unfair. Hang on, I'll wind that back to 1. Okay, I did not come prepared at all for this, but I'll still go first. Okay, what are we going to do? Okay, no cheating, Shane. Who the fuck's Shane? Sorry, language. Shane's the swearer. This is the pure and innocent one. Okay, we have many shows on the ComX network, and one of them is this one, Monday show, every Monday. Then we've got Tuesday, Chinwag on every Tuesday. And then we've got ComX show with Shane Jew. That's on Wednesdays. That's currently only every second Wednesday. She can't commit to more than that. She is a very, very busy girl. Thursday is Let's Draw. Why did I write it down like that? Let's Make a Comic Book. Don't even know the name of my own show. Well, that's Ed's show. I'm just the guy who pushes the buttons on that one. Thank God. Thank God. And Friday is Drink and Draw. Now, Drink and Draw is every week now. So we just have a bit of a rotating roster on who is the host and so forth. I've only got 10 seconds. Buy this from the comic shop. Buy this from the comic shop. Buy this from the comic shop. Woo! And I can't let it go to 0 or else it stuffs everything up.
Nice.
What not to do. There you go. Yes.
This is Scissors' audition tape for the next Olympics.
Okay, let's bring that back to 1. Who are you going to do next? Should I pick on someone or should you pick on someone this time, Ed?
You do it.
You do it? Okay. Okay, I'll go backwards. How's that? We'll start with Chris.
Oh, God.
You haven't got... Okay,
All
are
right.
you ready?
All right. Yep.
Promote yourself, buddy.
Okay, you can find my normal, all my art and stuff at Crispy Inks on Instagram. You can also find all my work that I do with NSK Comics over at NSK Comics, where I illustrate Fox and Hound, Hell Corsten, Your Highness, Lucky Country. Fox and Hound 6 is currently on Kickstarter, so please go support that. What else? I also occasionally work with SK. I did Wolf Cubs. 1 and I think 2 is still in pre-Kickstarter. So also go and check out those. I also do commissions. So if you want me to do a cover or a portrait or anything like that, you can contact me through Instagram. My handle is just there. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Nice.
Nicely done. That's how it's done, ladies and folks. Not like how I do it. Like, I'm going to cheat now and go, I'm the host, so I get to say, don't forget the Stellar Lands is at Kickstarter. I couldn't remember what the damn thing was called for a second then. So, yeah, go look at that. But you didn't hear me see that because it's gone. Didn't hear me see that? Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I can't speak English.
It's fine. It's one
English
of those days.
That's all right. It says English is my second language. I just never developed a first.
Yeah, my first language is dribble. I'm fluent in dribble. Just ask Kez. So if we're going backward, if I remember correctly, Shannon?
Oh, I got nothing to promote.
You're nothing to promote.
No, I'm still looking for a job. So.
Just Stellar Lands. There you go.
Okay, you want me to promote stuff?
Yeah. Oh,
Right,
okay. That didn't sound good. That sounds like a dare. I don't like being dared. I'll see if Ed brings you up.
There I am.
Okay, you've got 10 seconds to be really mean to me. I don't know what it is you're doing here, so.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to spend some time with some Aussie comic lovers or some Aussie comic creators, every night of the week, as Sis said, go to ComX, which is right here on the painting. There's a show every single night, whether you want to hear people talk about comics, draw comics, speak about comics, or just have a bit of a chinwag, check out ComX. Also, check out ComX, the website. See, all of the comics that we've spoken about tonight that are done by independent creators are available on his store. He doesn't give discounts, but then again, we're all broke. We can't afford them. Mr. Ed, who is over there in the corner at the top there, he does a comic called Radical. It's got one of the greatest villain names ever made, Laserballs. Chris, I haven't met Chris before, and I don't know what his book is, but he just plugged it all for himself. Give it that a check. Also, jump onto his Kickstarter. It's probably really, really good. Bye-bye.
Oh, damn it. I let it go funny.
Oh, no.
I wasn't watching. I was too amused by that.
Did a good job.
I was about to go right around the circle there. I'm sorry, Ethan, I didn't get to you. But I suddenly looked at the clock and like, oh, 2 seconds.
That's why, Shannon, if you want to take my minute, you can go for it. So.
Oh, it's already started. Okay, we're talking about Ethan now.
Cool. I guess that brings us to Ethan.
Here we go.
I'm glad that didn't have sound. I didn't realize that wasn't muted. Okay. Tell us about yourself, Ethan, and promote your stuff to us.
All right. You can find everything of mine at EJ Harris Art on Instagram. My website is ethanharris.com.au. I sell comics, What They Leave Behind. Part 1 is my most recent release the last couple of months. Working on part 2, so stay tuned. Got illustrations and all sorts of other stuff on my store. I also run a online community, Squish Squash, illustration animators, lots of creators. We're on Discord. We do social things. Join in. It's fun. That's me. Everything at EJ Harris Art. There you go.
Nice.
Which brings us to Ed.
Curb your enthusiasm there, Ed.
Okay, Ed. You got pro. Oh, go.
I do a comic book called Radical. My name's Ed Keasley at Ed Keasley Art on Instagram. There's laser balls for everyone who is wondering. He shoots lasers out of his balls.
Yeah, look at that.
It's in issue 2. And also want to plug Let's Make a Comic Book on Thursday nights, where we make a comic book live, and we're on season 2. And Bitsy is the main character, Bitsy, the tradie cat. And I think everyone here has been on and drawn a panel on it. Either season 1 or season 2 or both. And it's awesome. And go to ComX.shop to get all your Australian independent comic books. And I'm out.
Woo! Now get rid of this thing. Stop sharing. I will note the shop is now at comx.net.au. It's combined with some other things, but Ed is still right. ComX.shop will take you there. It'll redirect you to where you need to be. So it's all good. You can still put in ComX.shop. I'd be stupid not to do that because I have promoted that name for so damn long. Well, a year or two anyway. That's a long time. And I forgot to put up what we do next. So what do we do next, Shane? Oh, shop ad. You beauty. Can you press the button?
Let's see if I get the right one. There you go.
Are you feeling a little down? Tired of reading the same old books again and again? Looking for something different? Why not head over to the ComX shop now and pick yourself up some freshly inked inspiration?
It looks a lot nicer than that too. We've improved the look. That's an old footage of the screen. Oh, okay. Now what we do is, if there's comments, I don't know how many comments we've gone through, or
you can't run away from pickles, Sizzy.
no, not.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh yeah.
I want to have my comics in the comic shop.
Hell yeah.
Wait, you have to grow up to get your comics in the comic store?
No.
Just to say, there's no growing up involved.
Or if you have to grow up first.
I've got a comic in there, and I have not grown up.
You could either grow up or have a comic in the comic shop. You got to choose one.
Can't do both.
Yeah.
What we're going to do now is our little quick round of recommendations. What was I going to recommend again? Damn it. No, that's just me joking around. What I was promoting. What I'm going to recommend is, just like last week, something I haven't had a chance to fully read. I have read the proof of this, the PDF, but this is one story that is in 2 comics. This is why he's released both of them. So that is
Nice.
my read. Outlaw by Stu Thornton. He does everything except Oscar Thornton does. What's Oscar Thornton do again? Edited by Oscar Thornton. That's his son. So yes, that's my recommendation. We'll just go around the clock. Start with Ethan.
All right, I've got two for you. Volume 1 of Bird King, which is by Daniel Friedman, and the artist is Crom. Very cool stuff. Very graphic, as in the elements are more graphic designy look, but still got that nice ink touch that Crom does. And then Volume 2 of Bird King, because it just gets better in the second one. There you go.
Oh, awesome.
Very cool read.
And that takes us down to Shannon.
Quick
You haven't
recommendation.
forgotten this bit again?
Sorry?
You haven't forgotten this bit again? Just checking.
No. I remember this stuff.
I was going to cover for you, man. I was getting ready to cover for you.
I appreciate it. I'm glad we didn't actually mention that on air and everybody heard about it. But anyway, I'm just recommending a comic from Image Comics by Scott Snyder called Undiscovered Country. It's set in the future, about 30 years after America cut itself off from the rest of the world, fenced itself off and just disappeared. And then a group of diplomats go in there trying to get a cure for a pandemic that's sweeping the world, sorry. And they found out that America has become a very, very weird and dangerous place. I think the most recent issue just came out a week or two ago. Really, really intriguing read. It's not something that I'm chomping at the bit for every single month or every time it comes out, but I'm also always interested to get stuck into it whenever it comes out.
Cool. Chris, tell us your story.
So I'm going to plug the webcomic Go Get a Roomie. The whole thing, that was a bit of a giggle.
I'm sorry, I like that title. That's great.
Webcomic Go Get a Roomie. It's again another slice of life comic by a queer creator. It focuses on the titular character Rumi, who has no home. She just sleeps at everyone else's place, hence Rumi. But it looks at a whole bunch of different stuff. Again, it's a lot of interpersonal relationships. It looks at mental health. It looks at just all kind of stuff like positivity, kind of living with disabilities, and creating art. And it's really, really good. It was running for I think something like 10 years. There's a lot there. It's very, very long, but the whole thing is a complete work, and it's all available for free online. Just type into Google Go Get a Roomie.
Ed, tell us your recommendation.
I've got Metcop Wonderland by Katie Marks, story by Katie Marks, art by Mel Roswell, colors by Lauren Hall. It's a book set in Melbourne with the guys by Metcops, and there's mysterious happenings going on in the city tunnel. And this is the first issue. And like I said about the Battle for Bustle issue 1, which was a really good self-contained issue 1. This is one of the another ones that was a really good read just as a standalone issue, as introducing the story and the world. And I've got up to issue 11. I don't know if they're still making it, but it's well worth a read, especially if you're from Melbourne and like me, have taken the train a lot and seen a lot of weirdos on the train. Really good.
He's talking about me. Okay, let's go back into talking about did I leave this up last time? ComX.show/interest. If you like what you saw, if you want to be part of the show, you want to talk about a comic that you like, a comic you want to recommend, a comic you've just read, this is a show you want to be on. And that's how you get on, ComX.show/interest. That's also where you register your interest for the other shows we do as well. And like I said before, you just have to be a fan of comics to get on this show. That's it. Tell us about a comic you like. That's what we're after.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that's the part where we all say, hang on, I'll take that off the screen.
Should we get the last comments?
Go through the last comment, sorry.
Yeah, we never going up. I'll choose refuse to go up. And we need more darker stories. And then I think that was for the Snyder book.
Oh.
That Don's popped in at the end.
Hey, Don.
Don.
Just in time.
And Sydney also has Weirdos on the Train. It's good to hear. What happened there? Abrupt finish.
Well, I can honestly say that Brisbane has some normal people on the train. They're the rare ones.
I was about to say, is that where they are?
There's not like you go, oh, there's a weirdo. It's like, oh, that one looks normal.
Is that the reflection?
It's not the reflection. The one I'm saying is normal. That's for sure. So yes, thank you everyone for watching. It was a lot of great fun. Great for yeah, that's what we should do. What I was trying to say was thank you for all the great comments, and thank you for the guests. Thank you for your recommendations. Thank you for the ones you talked about as well. That was awesome. I've actually written some of them down. I want to chase them up now. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. And see you next time. Night all.
Thanks, everyone.
Like and subscribe. I just remembered.
Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.